back at it again. Taking a little drive right now. It's about 7:40 in the morning. We are gonna go pick up another project. So stay tuned. Show you guys a buddy of mine's car. He's been in one of my last videos. He has the 2G GST with the whole set HX35. We're gonna go pick up a local car that's being parted out. I just decided to buy the whole car. It's a great car. There's actually a backstory behind this car that I'll get into later on in the video, or maybe another separate video. But you guys know me and sentimental value with these DSM, so stay tuned. Bring you guys along for this little ride, and yeah, you guys will see what I'm getting into right now. Here at the buddy spot, here's one of his OBS that he has. GMC. And this right here is the Dsm. So this right here is what the latest pickup is. It is a 1997 Eclipse GST manual. This is the damage that it had. I will be replacing this fender with the spare white one that I have, and I'm going to be trying to source a 2G carbon fiber hood. But for the most part, it's a fairly clean car. It's got the Punishment Racing front mount intercooler. It is the North Star white. It did have some aftermarket seats that I pulled out. The seller wanted a little bit extra with them, so we kind of negotiated out the racing seats for it. It's a pretty straight car. It's just dirty. You need to clean it up, but she's pretty clean. And this car actually belonged to a buddy of mine from when I was in high school, like 10 years ago. So it's got a little bit of sentimental value. The interior of it is actually, like I said, really good. He did replace all the carpets. That's all new. It has a Carbonetics airbag delete, and yeah, I mean, he took care of the car. Definitely put some time into it. The paint is still pretty dang good. It's just needs a good cleaning and a polish, which I'll be doing soon. That's basically the worst of the damage there. I ended up picking up the car for $350 bucks, which I don't know, in my book that's a pretty good steal. It did have a Forged Performance 68 HTA that I did unfortunately have to remove for the price, but it does still have the factory 7-bolt. I just took out the turbo for him earlier today. I just picked it up, and yeah, I mean, it has a misfire in cylinder 3, which could either be a dead cylinder or it could be coil pack. Haven't really done any diagnostics yet. It drove great. I drove it back. It was sluggish, obviously, with that misfire, but the motor itself sounds good. There's no knocking. It did need some valve seals. You can see this cylinder here, coincidentally the same cylinder there, had some oil inside the exhaust port. So I'm going to be pulling the head off and taking it in, getting a full valve job, get some new valve seals, and hopefully get this thing up and going soon. I'm going to be fixing the radiator support from when it was initially hit, replacing that fender, and kind of straighten it out a bit. It's not too bad. If you guys saw my last video of my car, it's twin, you would see that it's a pretty simple fix to do these radiator supports. They're very maneuverable, I guess you can say. A little heat and they do well. But she is officially home. Just picked it up today, about 20 minutes outside of where I live in the Chico area, and yeah, she is clean. It's a 5-speed. It's got a recent ACT clutch swap in it. Tranny shifted great. It has a Galant alternator, and it's fully wired for like a sound system. But I mean, the Punishment Racing kit alone is worth close to the $350 I paid for the car. And I mean, the car is lowered on some suspension. It's on iBox Sport lines, so it has a pretty nice aggressive look to it. But she is a nice looking GST. I mean, once that fender's fixed, then I get maybe a carbon fiber hood, or even just another replacement white hood, or even a black one. I kind of want to keep it all white. If not, a carbon fiber look would look really good, I feel. But more than anything is we have twins now. So I have the 2G GSX there and the 2G GST here. So I'm going to do fairly basic setup on this. I don't really want to shoot for a whole lot of power. Probably just do a 14V, which is off the first generation manual turbo Eclipses. And that's about it. I might do some port work on the exhaust housing and get a little bit more flow. Maybe do a 2G O2 housing, the 14V, and just a stock ported 2G manifold. I think should be more than enough for this to make it a fun little cruiser. Yeah, it's a pretty straight car. It's clean. I know the pictures and videos white always just looks good, but this one really does look as good as it looks in these pictures and videos. Minus that front crack on that bumper there. I might try to see about getting that fixed, but for the most part, she looks pretty good. And a little update on the GSX. I had some boosting issues. I thought I tracked it down, I didn't. Tore down the turbo and found out that my wastegate, the flapper, this entire time was stuck open. So the tension on the wastegate was way too loose. And I guess I must have done this error years ago, because I haven't touched this setup, this turbo setup at least, in about 2 years. So it's been like that this whole time. It still did very impressive airflow and numbers go, but that was definitely restricting some good response time as far as boost hit. And I had mentioned in my other videos that I don't know, I was kind of feeling a little bit of a lag, and I mean, for a 2.3 stroker with this, that really shouldn't have been the case. It did still move really well. Definitely hurt some feelings, but finally got that fixed. So I tore down, found out when I opened up the O2 housing, removed it, the flapper was open about a quarter of the way. It just stuck open, just sitting, and got that fixed, got it all tightened down. Now the flapper's closed, right? It's like this, which is how it should be. And I did get a Punishment Racing external O2 housing that should help me up with the spool time and just regulating the boost a little bit more. These internal wastegates are very delicate, so I figured an external O2 housing, even though I wanted to keep the whole stock sound very minimal attention, I just kind of said screw it. It was either that or going external wastegate, so put that on there, and I'm just gonna finish it up soon. But this is kind of the last of my worries right now. It's the winter season, so kind of wanted to park it anyway. But yeah, this is going to be the new little project. So you guys will be seeing a few updates here and there. I haven't been able to really post much. I've been pretty busy with everything. So yeah, latest pickup, $350 clean title manual GST that actually drove me home. So yeah, I'm gonna get into work with this car. I'm gonna get to work on this car fairly soon. I just pulled the turbo so far, nothing too crazy. Stay tuned. Yeah,